It's crazy to say, but I've been a real estate investor for 4 years now, and I've gone through tenant turnovers as most investors do. With trial and error, I've been able to narrow down what strategies to take to rent a property at a competitive price while getting exceptional applications. In this video, I'm going to provide you 7 easy steps for you to list your rental property fast and for free on Zillow Rental Manager. My mission with this channel is to simplify success for you and ideally help you avoid a lot of the mistakes that I made. And so I want to help you build a data-driven business that you can scale with systems and processes. And if that's exciting for you, be sure to hit the like button so we can reach more people, and be sure to subscribe for new videos every single week. All right, let's get started. About 3 years ago, I moved into my second property and first ever in Tampa, Florida area. After 1 year of living in the property, I made my move to rent it out. Things went really well until they didn't. My tenants had to break their rental lease as they were a military family and had to move. 1 week after moving out, Hurricane Ian came and caused destruction to parts of West Florida, including to the roof of my rental property. I was scrambling to fix the property, list it, and get qualified tenants in October of 2022. Ultimately, the listing sat longer than I would have liked and had limited qualified tenants. So fast forward now, summer of 2023, it got me thinking, what can I do better to make sure that the next time around, I wouldn't be having my listing sit as long and have to make a reduction? So rental tip number 1 is listing your property in the summertime. So the property that I was renting out was in October of 2022, which was the fall. And in the fall, not many families move. So I have a 3-bed, 2-bathroom home that caters mostly towards families or couples who maybe work from home and want that additional bedroom. The reason why they're not looking to move in the fall is because of the school season. Most people also don't like to move in the fall because it's cold. So it's good to have your listing in the summertime. So in this case, what I did in October was I went through a month-to-month lease with the new tenant, which I normally do not do, with the caveat that for the new tenant, their lease would expire in early summertime, late spring, so I'd be able to list it again to a higher pool of applicants. Rental listing tip number 2 is bright listing photos. So I initially thought that if I got a Canon camera, I'd be able to take beautiful photos and would have the best listing photos around. Problem is, I don't know how to use a Canon camera, so as a newbie, I just took the camera, took some shots, and from what you could see, it actually is not even close to being spectacular. This is the kitchen here, and we could look at some other photos where it's kind of dark, can't really see the full scope of the room. It doesn't really show off the property. So these were my listings photos in October, but I decided this time around when I was listing it in summer of 2023 to use my new iPhone. So going from a Canon camera to an iPhone, but yes, I was able to get better quality because it was easier for me to understand how to use the camera and get wider views. So if we look at those photos here, we could see it's also vacant, which is a bit of a plus, that the photos make the room and space look bigger, and that same kitchen also looks a lot brighter. So the way I was able to make my photos look even brighter was using a free application called Photos on Mac. So if you have an iPhone, your picture's saved to Photos, and if you sync it with your Mac, you'll be able to get these photos automatically when you open up your computer. So from here, what I did, say this photo, I went to this little enhance button. Again, I am not a photographer by any means, so I need the most easiest way to get this looking across nicely. Then I went to edit and just adjusted the light a little bit more to make these photos look a little bit brighter from what they looked like previously. So if you see done and what it looked like beforehand, it's a little bit lighter than the original photo, which really helps to come across for tenants when looking at your listing. Rental property tip number 3 is using AI for listing description. So initially, when I put my property back up for rent in October 2022, I still used the initial listing description from when I purchased the property as the actual home buyer. As you can see from this original description, it's really tailored for someone who is owning the property. For example, the paint choices are on trend. The kitchen is exquisite with designer white cabinets topped with crown, granite counters, stainless appliances, huge center island for breakfast bar seating, etc. There's so many words in there that aren't really that useful for a tenant to quickly grasp. Hey, what appliances does it have? What would I be responsible for? What would an owner be responsible for? And so on. So instead, I use ChatGPT in order to construct a new description, which we could see on the right-hand side. So quickly just states the highlights of 3-bed, 2-bath, in a gated community, as well some of the highlights that it had previously of what the kitchen is, as well as the great room, but not to that level of detail that we had previously, and goes a little bit more deeply into what the monthly rent is, deposit, if pet negotiable or not, and then lastly going into location. So this description really helps where previously it was all about location, community, details about the property, where now it's more so light details about the property, then specifically for the tenant, what's relevant to them in terms of security deposit, lease term, and then lastly, the location description. Tip number 4 is rental price. So I typically use Zillow Rental Manager as well as some other tools like Rentcast, and stay tuned for that one, to see what the median rent is for the given area and what I should be listing my rental property for. So in this case, the Riverview, Florida area, which is a suburb outside of Tampa, the median rent for a 3-bedroom home is $2,300. Now, I know that my property has a bonus room. So essentially, it's like 4 spaces of rooms, with 3 of them having closets of being true bedrooms. So in this case, I know that I could likely increase my rents a bit and not be at that median price. And I also see that the market temperature is relatively warm, meaning there's still a high level of rental demand. Now, previously, I had rented my property out for, I believe, $2,500, and I had to knock that down by $50. In this case, I realized the trick is, one, if you go to your rental listings for your given town, you're going to see all the listings, say on Zillow, on the right-hand side. Then what I started to do was click on some of these properties. So for example, if I click on this one, I could see here that this is listed by a management company. Now, a property management company, what their bread and butter is listing properties and working with tenants. So I kind of wanted just to piggyback on what their strategy was, since they probably know best in this area. So from what I could see as I was clicking through the properties, looking to see who owned it, looking to see which ones were property managers, I noticed that a lot of them have the price knocked down by $5 so that you remain in the tenant search. So if a tenant is searching for properties that are no more than $2,400, for example, if you see this one on the bottom right, it would meet that criteria even though it's only $5 less. So in this case, I rented my property instead of for $2,500, which I couldn't get the last time, to $2,495, so only $5 off. And that had a flood of more rental applicants. Tip number 5 is make sure you have a rental property sheet. If you're renting via Zillow, which is free and highly recommended, I have previous videos on how to do that and set up the lease, you will get this property listing sheet for free. So what the tenant and what you could print out for them is the summary of the home, how many bedrooms, square footage, if laundry's in unit, for example, and what other amenities you may have. You may be thinking, well, if the tenant or rental applicant could see this all on their own on whatever app they're using when they find my listing, why do I provide them this anyway? Well, they may be looking at, say, 4 rental properties in a given day. They're going to forget which one was yours, potentially. So by having this property sheet, you give the facts right away. As well, if you're using Zillow Rentals, it provides a QR code to make it easy for them to apply. Now, what I personally do is a mixture of these two. So I also have my own property sheet, as you could see here, where I have the overview of the property attributes, the rent, including beds, baths, and square footage, when the start of the lease is. But then I go into a little bit more detail about the community itself. So the community that I have the property in is a gated community, has a dog park, it has a bi-weekly food truck, and this helps applicants to understand the community of the area. So especially if it's going to be in a suburb neighborhood, I would suggest to put these neighborhood amenities. And I also list here what it's close to. So any shopping or food is also mentioned, as well as close highways, since a lot of rental applicants typically will have some sort of job they have to commute to, and they would prefer to be somewhere close to highways, so it's close for them to get to work. I also add some activities too, and then towards the back of the sheet is where I put more detail on what my requirements are, which includes all adults to be able to apply. So this sheet, when presented to the applicant when they're touring the property, just gives a great overview to be very professional in terms of what their requirements are, but also provide that summary so that applicants remember your property. Tip number 6 is offering flexibility for rental applicants, and this comes in two forms. First, when they're touring the property itself. So traditionally, I would always be on site for a property because it usually is the case where I live in the property, rent it out, and I want to make sure that my stuff is safe. However, in this case, the property itself was actually vacant as my previous tenants had already moved. So instead of having to go back and forth on Messenger for Zillow Rental Manager to decide on a time to meet the tenants, I actually implemented a smart lock to make it easier for them to enter and do a self-tour on their own. You may be thinking, oh man, they can destroy the property that way. But typically that actually isn't really the case. I also had the property in a gated community, so it made me feel more safe as well. And if you're thinking, well, how much is that going to put me out if I get a lock that's a smart lock? If you go on Amazon, they can range anywhere from $32 to $230, which can get a little bit more pricey. And in my case, I wanted a simple smart lock, entering codes. I can change the code based on who the applicant could be. And in that case, I went with an HU Tools lock, but you can go many different routes. The one I would say to not do is August Home, as I've had that in prior rentals and it's just really not that great of a product, and the way it turns is like super slow, so it would have a lot of issues with the motor when I used to use it, at least a couple years ago. Then the second part of flexibility was a question that I would get from a lot of rental applicants. Hey, I want to move in August 1st, which is say a Tuesday, but it's going to be a lot easier for me to move on a weekend, so maybe that prior Saturday. Do you have any availability for me to move in a little bit earlier, but have the lease start August 1st? And in this case, if the property is vacant, I will always say yes, because it's only 3 or 4 days extra a tenant is in there. It gets me off of the water and electric bill and provides them that flexibility that could be the reason why they choose your property over another property. So last but not least, actually my favorite tip is number 7, which is getting to know the rental applicants. I typically ask them questions when the rental applicant is looking to tour the property, or afterwards when they have questions, possibly giving them a call. And in that process, I get to know them a little bit more as to where they're moving from and why they're moving to the given area. This is where I educate them a bit more, and if they're already familiar with the area, I get to kind of get on a basis of knowledge where we feel very comfortable with one another. So let me give you an example here. In the town that I have my property, which is Riverview, Florida, it's fairly large. So I'll ask the applicant, hey, have you lived in Riverview before? If they say no, or if they say yes, then I say, well, then in this case, you would either know or not know that Riverview is a very large town. You could be in one part of it and then drive 20 minutes and be in a whole other part of the same exact town. Now, what's key to understand here is that when you're living in Riverview, regardless if you choose my property or not to live in, I highly suggest that you try to live close to one of the exits on 301 or I-75. Otherwise, it's going to be very difficult for commuting and also getting out of the town in general if you want to do weekend trips, like say going to the beach. And in this case, I also state that the benefit of this property is that it is only 5 minutes away from major highways. So I then preface, again, whether you choose my property or not, I highly suggest that you do choose one that has good transportation. And if you need recommendations on what streets to look out for, I could provide that as well for good transportation. And that really, really helps to resonate with the residents because, one, I've inversely eliminated a whole pool of potential properties for them to look at that may be beautiful, but 20 minutes away from the highway. And I'm kind of also stating what the main benefits of my property is, which is transportation. That's one of my strategies that I take when I invest in properties in general, which you can watch previous videos on. So with that, I provided you 7 different steps as a recap. List your property in the summertime, use bright photos, use AI for a listing description, knock off your price by $5 instead of rounding it to the nearest 100, use a rental property sheet, provide rental applicants flexibility like a self-tour, and get to know them a little bit more while being able to emphasize what the positives of your property is. If you felt that this video helped, then please hit the like button below as well. I love to hear the comments as I'm always trying to learn myself and how to be a better landlord of what strategies you may take. And as well, if you are a rental applicant, what are some things that you look out for when you decide I'd rather live in this property versus another one? Thanks so much for watching.